My West predictions, top 6, Nuggets, Lakers, Warriors, Suns, Grizzlies, Clippers. Forget a long intro. Did you know the Lakers were 18-8 after the trade deadline last year? 15 of those games they didn't even have LeBron. Yeah, they are gonna be number 2 seed good. The Warriors at 3 because I've loved CP3 and Jonathan Kuminga so far in the preseason. The controversy is actually below the play-in line. 7 Kings, 8 Wolves, 9 Mavericks, 10 Thunder. Some NBA experts, like Bill Simmons, predict OKC is going to dominate this year.
I have them 4th in the West right now.
Wow, 4th.
Yes.
What? And I have them 10th? I am open to being wrong on this, but Simmons is comparing them to the KD, Russ, Harden Thunder that made a huge leap around this same age in their early 20s. I just don't see guys outside of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on that level. And you have to look at the rest of the West. Like, who are they gonna beat? Golden State? The LA teams? The Kings? Maybe Dallas? The real question is the Pelicans. When Zion got hurt last year, they were tied for first place with the Nuggets. That's how good they can be, but I am not betting on Zion's health. Now, before my East predictions, the NBA is trying to save the regular season. We all know it sucks when stars rest, and it feels like sometimes nothing matters until we get to the playoffs. So there are a ton of changes this year that you have to know about. But finally, opening night is here of the NBA season. We are playing Underdog Fantasy this year, all season long. Use promo code AMHOOPS. It really helps out the channel, and you get to double your deposit up to $100. But they have a special going on opening night, so let me show you my 2 picks. So first of all, LeBron James, if he scores a point, then it hits. So clearly I'm doing that. My next one is going to be Andrew Wiggins, and I'm going to go higher than 5 rebounds. And my thinking here is, you know, Draymond is injured, so maybe Andrew Wiggins in the front court gets a little more than 5 rebounds. Actually, I've seen some places it's all the way up at 6, so I think this is a perfect number. Check out this map to see if Underdog is available where you are. Higher lower is my favorite game, but they also have season-long fantasy. Sign up today. Do not forget to use the promo code AMHOOPS. The first thing is the in-season tournament. Can you believe it's all crammed into November 3rd through December 9th? Like, I pictured this big, long in-season tournament. No, dude. It all happens within 36 days. The groups are right here. It's all based on last year's regular season record, so they try to make the groups all about equal. Except, damn, look at West Group C. Kings, Warriors, Wolves, and Thunder. You feel bad for Wemby. The games count as the 82-game regular season, except for the championship game December 9th. That's an 83rd game in the regular season. Now you might think, oh, this is gonna suck. I mean, the superstars aren't gonna take this seriously. Oh, the NBA thought about that. The new resting policy says stars are not allowed to rest on tournament games. They have to play. That's the second big change, the player participation policy. So NBA stars have 4 resting rules. Healthy stars must play national TV games and tournament games. Oh, and if the team says, oh, sorry, he's injured. Nope, the NBA can investigate that. The NBA can be like, let me see the x-rays. Multiple stars can't rest on the same night. Warrior fans know all about this. Last year, they rested Steph, Clay, and Draymond multiple times in the same game. That is just wrong. No more shutting down stars to tank for the draft. Last year, Bradley Beal and Damian Lillard were shut down the final 3 weeks of the season. And we know you have to play a minimum of 65 games, 20 minutes per game for most awards, excluding Rookie of the Year. Ah, but who can rest? I actually haven't heard a lot of people talk about this. Certain players are allowed to rest. A vet can rest during a set of back-to-back games if he is at least 35 years old, has played 34,000 plus minutes and 1,000 plus games, playoffs included. Examples are, you know, the old superstar types. But you know what's crazy? The NBA said, remember all that talk about load management? We take off games to prevent injuries. Yeah, apparently that's total BS. There's no evidence for that. They said, yeah, now that we've tried it for years, turns out load management has no effect on getting injured or not. It's total BS. The old guys were right. They've been saying for years, they're like, man, we didn't have load management back in the day. We didn't get injured. It's true. But you know what this is all really about? money. Because of course it is. The NFL just signed their new media rights deal for $110 billion over 10 years. The NBA is going to get a new deal after next season. The TV rights for ESPN and TNT are done. So a bunch of companies are going to bid for the regular season. But of course, we all have to watch the regular season for it to be valuable. So East predictions next, but you'll be glad to know the NBA told refs to crack down on two annoying things players do. The first is flopping, and they are telling refs to look out for anything theatrical. So if a player just really sells it, dude is gonna get hit with a technical foul. But these kinds of fouls are not flops. If a player falls to the ground but doesn't act like he just got shot, it's all good. It'll be so satisfying to see the drama queens get called out. But the other thing that refs are watching for is called respect for the game. They are cracking down even more on players who argue calls. Horrible news for Luka Doncic. They say an example of a good argue is Nikola Jokic here, who has a normal reaction. He's really pissed, can't believe it, but then he immediately walks away. So now, East predictions. First place Celtics, second place Bucks. I know, am I starting an OnlyFans with these hot takes? Obviously, it's going to be Celtics and Bucks first and second, right? But I think that the Celtics are in first place because their big two have had tons of experience together. They're bringing back the same head coach. But things get crazy in third place. It's the Cavaliers. Last year, the second best net rating behind the Celtics. We forget how good they were because they lost in the first round to the Knicks. But New York is in fourth. All their key rotation players are back and will be better. Can you believe their oldest regular player is Julius Randle, and he's only 28 years old? Fifth is Philly, but Tyrese Maxey might be most improved player of the year because they're going to have to lean on him so much. But one big injury to Joel Embiid and they are screwed. Sixth, the Hawks, and that's actually improvement. I think one more full year of DeJounte Murray and Quinn Snyder will do big things. But now, let's get into the play-in spots with Miami. They had the worst offseason of any contender. No more Max Strus or Gabe Vincent. Still didn't solve their biggest problem, a good point guard to get them into half-court offense. But I think they are really motivated from day one to prove last year was not a fluke. Eighth, the Nets. Yo, Mikal Bridges was so good as a number one player last year. The key to being a superstar is having the ball in your hands a lot, but still being efficient. You know, guys like the best players in the game. Yeah, well, Mikal Bridges was right there with them. Luka, Steph, KD, Giannis. Now, I don't think Bridges is that good, but add in a little improved Ben Simmons, they make the play-in. Ninth, the Raptors. Also a bad offseason. They sucked in the half court and lost Fred VanVleet. How is that not a disaster? Look, I am betting that Pascal Siakam and OG Anunoby are really good because they had new contracts to get. Another year of Scotty Barnes. All that and maybe getting the new coach will help. But 10th is the Pacers, which means the Bulls crash and burn. I am betting on Tyrese Halliburton's health. This is the craziest stat ever. If he's healthy, they're better than the Bulls. Last year, 28-28. Same win percentage as the Hawks, who made the playoffs in 7th place. Without Tyrese, they were 7-19. Same as the Spurs, who were so bad they got the number one pick. Talk about most valuable. But if this prediction is correct, the Bulls blow it up at the trade deadline. DeMar DeRozan gets traded at least because he's an expiring contract. But my MVP will be Jason Tatum. His team will be in first place, and he has been building up to this. Like Joel Embiid last year, sometimes people say, you know what, it's his time. If it's a close race, we're gonna give it to Tatum. But Klay Thompson doesn't have a new contract, and his old GM just said something that should make Warrior fans very nervous.